Hey everybody, welcome to our video guide for the instructions for the component 3 of your APA style literature review paper, just to kind of give you some tips here to make this process easier for you. And when you arrive at the instructions there, as you are now already, make sure you take some time to read through the entire set of information that I've put here for you. It's not terribly long, but it will really save you some problems later on there, so make sure you read everything carefully. We're going to walk through most of that too. And by the way, don't pay attention to any due date that you may see here as well in the instructions here. This is just what was there when I recorded this at this particular semester, so it may not apply to the current semester that you're in, so no worries about any of that. I do mention at the top here that there are some chapters in your pocket guide to APA style that you might want to take a look at there, chapters 1, 2, and 9. And especially in chapter 9, there is a complete sample paper there. It's on birth order. You can see here I mentioned the page numbers there. It's called Beyond Birth Order. Definitely check that out before you start writing your paper. It'll really give you a good idea practically of what you need to turn in regarding your own paper there. Also here too, if you scroll down in this blue shaded region here, I do mention these files that I've got here. They're both the same file. One is in Microsoft Word, one is in a PDF format, whichever is easier for you to open up on your device there. So I put it in both formats just for that reason. But here's complete instructions, including a checklist, basically, which is really helpful, a list of do's and don'ts for your paper. That is, things you do want to make sure you have in your paper and things you don't want to have in your paper. So definitely check out that checklist. I update it usually every semester and just add a few things that students seem to need some help with there. Let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at this here. Just go ahead and click on it. Give it a moment to open up here. There we go. We can scroll down here to the instructions. I'm going to go ahead and make this a full screen, so let me pause this for you. So this is the instruction file made just a little bit bigger so you can see it more easily there. I'm just going to walk you through some things. Definitely take some time to read this first box here. It's just got some helpful information about what your paper should be, double space, 12-point fonts, etc. There, make sure you take a look at that. And one important item here too, it has to be 8 full pages in length as far as the body of the paper, the literature review itself, and that does not count the title page, the abstract, or the reference page. You're going to find that elsewhere on the Canvas page there too. So make sure you take a look at that list of 8 items there. And here's the first part of the paper, the title page there. So I just have some detail for you there about that. And if you take a look at the link here that I've got, this is a sample of a title page for that online writing lab, the OWL as it's called, the OWL. Let's go ahead and take a look at that there. And if you just scroll down when you link to that page, you'll see a sample of a title page. Let's go ahead and look at that. I'm just going to pause this to get that up here for you. So when you arrive at the OWL, the Online Writing Lab, what you want to do on this page is scroll down just a little bit here and keep going down until you see where it says Major Paper Sections. Then you have the title page here. And if you scroll down just a little bit here, they have a sample student page there, but I want you to take a look at the actual professional paper title page because you need to have what's called a running head here. And this is all described here above it, so make sure you just take a look at that there. And this will really give you a good sense of what your title page should look at. You can see the page number there too. So that's all I wanted to show you about the title page for right now. So if we return to the instruction file there, that Word file there we were just looking at, you can see the next section here is the abstract page, and it tells you the abstract should be on a new page and should also include the running head or page header there. And let's go ahead and take a look at a sample of that. If you click on that link again, it'll take you to the Online Writing Lab, and when you get there, remember, just scroll down the page a bit and you'll see a sample abstract page. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So again, when you arrive at the OWL, the Online Writing Lab, just scroll down the page as I'm doing right here. Go past the title page this time and keep going. Then you'll get to the abstract section. It gives you some important information about the abstract there you might want to take a look at. And then they give you a sample abstract page. Do note the running head is on the top there. You have to have your running head on each page, and do note that it is in uppercase letters. And then you have your page number, and then you have your abstract. It's just a paragraph about your paper, but take a look at the instructions. It'll tell you what you need to have in there. So now we're returning to the instruction page there, so just scroll down now to where it says body of your review paper, basically what you should have as far as the content in your paper. the introduction, the body of your review paper, and the discussion. Basically, you can call it a conclusion too, so make sure you have that. Do read the detail what I put in the instructions for you, because that'll fill you in on what you need to have there. And the last part of your paper, let's just keep scrolling down here, is the reference page and also your citations. So begin your reference page on a new page. You also have to include that running head there as well. And again, all the references need to be in APA style, and you must provide a citation for each one of the references in your reference list. We're going to go over that back on the main instructions on the Canvas page there, but just kind of keep that in mind. And do note that I have included a link to the section on the Fresno City Library website there to help you get your citations in the right format there. There's a citation handout there. Let's go ahead and take a look at that when you click this link where it'll take you to. So you can see here, there's helpful information. It says citation exams is under citation help. That's where we're at right now. And so APA format, APA citation examples handout. You might want to take a look at that. They've also got some MLA stuff there too in case you're using that for different class, but please don't use MLA for your paper because that's not proper here. It's got to be an APA style. There's also some great information here about plagiarism too, avoiding plagiarism and plagiarism in the real world. You can go ahead and click on that and check that out in case you need to do that. And getting back to our instruction file here, also don't forget, as I mentioned here, to check out your pocket guide to APA style, chapters 5 through 8. There's all kinds of great stuff there about references and citations there from a variety of sources that you might have, YouTube videos, academic journals, newspapers, whatever you're using there. It'll show you how to do that, so everything's covered in that pocket guide, so don't forget to use that as a resource. And also there's a sample paper there found in chapter 9, so you can see what a completed reference page should look like, quote unquote. Okay, let's move further down on the instruction file here. Then there's a section here, sample APA papers. So that online writing lab also has an example of an APA paper. So if you go ahead and click on that link there, it'll go ahead and take you to a sample paper. We're going to do that in just a moment. But also a reminder here, don't forget chapter 9 in your pocket guide to APA style also has a complete literature review sample for you to examine there. Let's take a look at that sample paper on the online writing lab. So when you click that link that you just saw, you'll be taken to this sample paper from the online writing lab, the OWL, and all these colored boxes are just indicators of why things are the way they are in this paper. So it kind of gives you some real good information. You can see the title page here, note the running head, and then you can scroll down to see an abstract page, and then you can see the actual literature review itself, and you might want to take a look at that because they do have citations in here, so you can get those in a proper format. And you can just keep scrolling through the paper. There's all kinds of good examples of things, quotes, discussions, etc. there. And then you see at the very end here the reference page. And again, note the running head there on the top there, and again a page number. So you can just check that out there. Again, it's always good to have a sample to look at. You can reverse engineer things and just kind of see, well, this is what I have to turn in for the assignment. And getting back to our instruction file, and the next thing you're going to see here is the checklist for your final paper. I'm not going to detail all of that now because it is detailed here. You can see in the checklist, so make sure you read through each of these items in the list here. I put these in there to really help you out so you can avoid making any major mistakes in your paper. So definitely take some time to go through them, and you'll be glad that you did. It will really save you some potential headaches there. And hopefully you've done this before you've written your paper, so you don't have to clean anything up. This is designed to help you prevent problems in the first place. So definitely, please do check out the checklist here. Okay? Because everything you need to know is really in there as far as important reminders. Okay, so we've returned to the literature review module in our Canvas course page. So you can see underneath the checklist that we just had opened up there, you'll see an additional list of just important reminders. A number of these are also in that same checklist that we saw, but I just state them here again for emphasis. Number 1 up there, definitely minimum of 8 full pages of literature review content. That is what you present, that you located in the literature, plus your title page, plus your abstract page, plus your reference page. So you're going to have a minimum of 11 pages there to turn in, so just keep that in mind. I have a few other items in here as well, so please make sure that you take a look at these here. Definitely important things there. At the bottom here, we have a section here about plagiarism and paraphrasing. I mentioned there in chapter 4, the end of your chapter on ethics, there's a table there about plagiarism. So I also mentioned how to get to that site we just saw on the library there, which has plagiarism information there too from the library's website. So take a look at that as well. Let's go ahead and open up this example of plagiarism and paraphrasing PDF here. So this is the same table you're going to find at the end of chapter 4, our chapter on ethics. There they give you a quote from an original source there. You can read there, and then they show you several examples there of how what was put there is actually examples of plagiarisms, even if you include a citation. If you don't change the words a lot, if you don't put things in your own words and you're still keeping the original structure of the original quote there, well, that's still plagiarism. A lot of people don't realize that, so if you just change a few words around and rearrange things and then just put a citation there, give credit for who wrote it, that's not really truly paraphrasing. That still counts as plagiarism. So make sure you're careful about that. And this example really walks you through that. And the last example they give you really tells you, hey, this is true paraphrasing. This is putting things in your own words. And of course, you still do the citation. You give credit to the original source there. Okay, we're back on the Canvas course page instructions for the paper again. And again, just be careful about plagiarizing things. I am submitting all of your papers to Turnitin, which has the ability to detect plagiarized materials. So please be careful about doing that. And the last thing I want to mention here in the instructions is there is a rubric that I've created here in both a Word and a PDF format there. So let's go ahead and just open that up there so you can see how your points are going to be assigned there. And we'll let that load there. I'm going to go ahead and make it a full screen, so give me a moment just to go ahead and do that. We'll be right back. So if you examine the rubric carefully, you can see the categories here: title page, abstract, grammar, mechanics, the body of your review paper, your citations and references, and then you can see the points down here, the total points that are available all the way here to the right for each of those parts there. And so you can see the lion's share of the points is for the body of your review paper, so definitely make sure you take a look at that, and especially on the checklist that I already showed you there earlier. That'll really help you avoid making mistakes that'll cost you points according to the rubric there. At the very bottom of the rubric, want to make sure you see a couple things here, so make sure you have an introduction and a conclusion offered there. You must use all of your references as a citation. If you fail to do that, there are deductions. And also don't have citations for sources that are not found in your references. This is supposed to be a review of the scientific literature, so you need to write about what you actually found as you documented in your references, and you don't want to write about things you don't have documented in your references. And also there too, the last sentence here, this is supposed to be a review of what you actually located as your sources there. So don't make your paper a presentation of your personal opinions and observations and life experiences. You need to write about what you found in the scientific literature. It's perfectly acceptable to make a few comments here and there that what you found in the literature seems to support what you experienced in your own personal life, but it's primarily about the scientific literature, not about your own personal perceptions and experiences there. If you end up writing something like that, that's a real failure of the assignment to do that, because I'm not asking you what you personally think. I'm asking you what you found in the literature, and make sure that the tone of your paper matches that too. It should not be in a conversational, informal style. It should be something like you present in front of a class, very formal and scientific. And you'll see that in the sample papers that you can review. So definitely use that tone there and be careful about doing that. Okay, well, those are the major things I wanted to let you know about and identify for the paper instructions here. Again, make sure you read everything top to bottom that I have there, and especially make sure that you are careful to review the set of instructions here and that checklist that accompanies it. Again, it's in a Word or a PDF format there. Make sure you review that carefully so you don't have any major mistakes in your paper. And also, don't forget to take a look at the samples there in your Pocket Guide to APA Style, again, Chapter 9. The link to the old WL there in the instructions here that you'll find the online writing lab for a complete sample paper that'll really help you out, and I can't emphasize that enough. And everything else, I've covered there for you. So be careful, and of course, ideally make sure you submit it on time, because I hate to see a well-written paper get dinged for a lot of points just for being late. So do be careful to submit your paper on time, and that way you won't lose any hard-won points that you otherwise would have got there. So, okay. Well, good luck, and I'll look forward to reading your papers.